everybody. Welcome to Jedi and the Mailman. I'm Mike the Mailman. That's Jimmy the Jedi. We are here to bring you the best Star Wars talk this side of the galaxy.
Yes, we are.
You know, uh, follow us on Facebooks and Instagrams and stuff like that. Not me. I don't care. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. But yeah, Jimmy would appreciate it. Jimmy
We
works hard
would.
on this stuff.
We would
If
appreciate it.
nothing else, go to Explore the Force. Follow them on everything. Hit the like, subscribe. Help us bring the numbers up. It'd make Jimmy really happy. He's had a rough day today.
People are mean, Mike. People are mean.
They are.
Good thing I don't have any feelings.
So besides getting battered online, how's your day?
Well, I had to spend $1,500 on tires because
Mm,
we started cross country practice. Well, first off, school's back, and I
yeah,
don't know if my passion is there or if I'm just having a hard time getting back into it. So it's been a long couple, like 2 days. It's been kind of
yeah,
rough, but sometimes that comes and goes with any job. But then during practice today, my wife was going to get the dogs because one dog had a vet appointment. One was going to come with me because we don't really like them to be by themselves if we can help it. And she
yeah.
pulls up and I hear psh, big giant
Oh,
bolt in her tire, and then so I had to change that, and then we still had to run practice and do everything else. So
busy day,
yeah, busy day, expensive day, but
I guess. $1,500 in tires. My wife just had to buy tires. It was only about 400 bucks.
yeah, we got some
Must
Michelin
have some,
monsters, man.
I guess.
70,000, the best rated things you can get. We
Oh,
better
there you
never,
go.
ever, ever have to buy tires for this vehicle
Until you run over something again.
until we run over. Actually, they're if something like that happens, they're
Oh, you got a
guaranteed for
road
life.
warranty.
So, and that just came
Nice,
with the tires. So they're
nice.
expensive, man.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
$275 a tire or something
Yeah, I
stupid.
my the tires from my pickup that I got might get another year out of them. I don't look forward to replacing them. Those big tires are just expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
So
afraid of when I have to buy it for my Jeep. But yeah, other than that, not a
yeah,
bad day. How about you?
that's
Before
good.
we get
I
into
had a
this
really good day.
nonsense.
Yeah, other than the bad Star Wars news, I mean, other than that, I had a really good day. It's been a pretty hot summer, and the past couple of days it's just been in the 60s, which is a
Yeah.
dream for my job.
Well, you
So
guys have
it's been
got
great.
the hurricanes weather, right? I mean,
Well, we
I don't.
got this. I mean, the lower temperature might have something to do with the hurricane. We did, was it last week? It rained like crazy when
Yeah,
the one hurricane came through. But yeah, the weather's moderated. It's been a good week.
good. I'm glad to hear it.
Nice weekend. Yep. Oh, it's my grand puppy's birthday today.
Did
Pluto
you
just
say your
turned
grand
2.
puppy?
Yeah, yeah. It's my daughter's dog, which she moved in with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's apartment he can't have dogs, so
Oh no.
we've kind of it's kind of our dog now.
Uh, oh man.
Oh, hey, we got some people out there listening.
We have some people online, but no one's talking to us yet. So people talk to us. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, let me know. Last week, I listened to just a snippet of the show and realized my audio with this headset was really loud. So if it sounds bad, but I can't know. I can't hear it. Jimmy can't hear it, but the recording was pretty terrible. So let us know if there's any, you know, audio issues or anything like that, so we can try to fix them.
Well, I went to go to bed last night,
Hmm.
and our good friend Eric says, "Why is Disney doing this to us?" Well,
Yeah.
Eric, Disney hasn't done anything, and I'm going to show you in 1 second, maybe from StarWars.com. This is their updated page. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
All right. So there is nothing about season two not happening, cancellation of season two. This is the one place until it shows it on here. I'm going to hold out a smidge of hope.
A smidge.
a smidge. Um, so because my thing is, it's been reported by Deadline and everyone's picked up on it, even ABC News, I think,
Mhm.
which is a little troubling because they are owned by Disney. But
Yeah.
I don't think they're allowed to call up Kathleen Kennedy like, "Yo, what's the was it the 411 or whatever?" Um, so yeah, so the big thing tonight, the Acolyte season 2 canceled supposedly. Let me see if I can find the article real quick by Deadline because they were the first to report it. Our friend Mike sent it to me last night, and then the
Me too. Ruined
Brandalorian
my
sent it
evening.
to me as well. And I was like, "Oh, fake news!" And then it just started streaming. I mean, it's a pretty big news story. Let me see if I can find Deadline.com. Let's see. I mean, they do report on a lot of stuff here. Taylor Swift release. Nope, that's not what we're doing. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Um, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. What? We'll come back
What?
to that. Let's see if we can find Star Wars. Where are we at here? TV. Uh, Here we go. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Anyway, so Deadline's the first reported. I'm like, I don't know. And it's kind of like I don't know what time Mike sent that to us. It was like 8 or 8:30 my time, maybe not that
Yeah,
late.
probably.
And I kind of ignored it. And then Brandalorian sent me a message, and I was like, I don't know, man. And he's like, well, THR, some of these other bigger sites are, but nobody has said who said this,
Right.
right? Eric says, I've heard the news today was a leak, which I wasn't aware of. I thought Disney announced it, so I'm holding out hope. Yeah, no one officially from Disney has said this. And here's, before we get into this, and we do a lot of stuff too. My thing is this: is this could be true? I would be bummed. And I said that last night. We did a little clip, sent that out, and man, people are mean. Good thing it hurt my feelings. Just kidding, they didn't. Um, Hey Imperial, how's it going on YouTube? It's RF. Oh, it's RFB. You changed your thing. Okay, same me, new handle. I like it. The Imperial
Nice.
makes sense. RFB makes sense. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like they announced Manta Jacinto is coming to Japan. I don't feel like they would have him go all the way to Japan for a show that's been canceled.
Yeah, why would they?
You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, um, and Disney is famous for just keeping their mouth shut,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can't
So I
I
mean,
mean,
we may never get
exactly.
like they didn't promise us a season two.
Mhm.
There's never been a hey, there's a season two coming,
Yeah.
you know. So again, this news could be real.
Yeah.
I 90% think it is. 10% of me is holding out hope that it's not. Um, but I feel like there's things on both sides. Like there's some weird business moves that don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Although he is beloved character like, from what people consider a bad show. Even the people who don't like the show seem to like Manny's portrayal of the stranger.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe they're going to keep trying to, put him out in front of people and maybe get some more eyeballs on the series. And who knows? Maybe if down the line some more people subscribe to Disney Plus, they get their numbers up and they could trace it back to the Acolyte. Maybe we get another series, but I don't know.
Well, this is the thing too. Is like you got to stick with something. Like not everything works. Not everything's perfect. I mean, yeah, the Mando hit pretty good, right? Because it was the first thing. It was the flagship show.
Hmm.
Season three sucked. Like
Yeah.
it was no
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're
That.
coming back with that. Andor season one, I loved it. Didn't
Hmm.
get good numbers. We're getting
No, it
Andor
did not.
season two.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know either. I don't know who I heard this from, but it was a great idea, and it'll never happen. But I'd love to see creators make deals where it's not just for a single season. Like the creators come forward with an arc of 3 seasons or 4 seasons or whatever it takes to tell the story and get that funding up front and the guarantees to do this. Because the one thing I'm really disappointed about is just how they ended the Acolyte. Like if they would have just ended it cut and dry, where there's a chance it could go on, but just end it with a solid ending, not a cliffhanger like they did. This would be a little bit easier to take, I would think. But and
Yeah,
then
that's the unknown.
yeah, and to your point too, like you got to give you got to give a series time to breathe sometimes, like the big example everybody always gives is Seinfeld. Like when Seinfeld, I mean, that iconic show, when it came out, it struggled. Like it was going to be canceled after the first season. They just got lucky to get through, and get picked up for a
Yeah.
second. And then it builds momentum, it builds steam, and you know, I mean, this is not a sitcom. We're playing in a sandbox that's already created. We're just building new sandcastles over here. So it is a different than a whole new world. A sitcom created out of nothing, but still, you know, it's just disappointing. I wish
Yeah,
they could
Eric
just.
says Disney could potentially pick up Acolyte storylines with books and comics. I mean, they are doing that already.
Mhm.
Imperial says, RFB says, it came down to numbers watched, far too few compared to all the other Disney Plus shows. See, I don't,
I
RFB,
can't.
where are you getting these numbers? Like,
Yeah,
where are these? I said this to a bunch of people today that were quoting numbers, and I'm like, show me the. Show
none of
me the
these.
website that you're getting these information
Yeah,
from, and
none of these
I'll
streamers
buy it. Like
release. None
but
of
I
these
don't.
streamers release anything. They
Yeah,
all
so
keep it.
like
They
that's
keep it under wraps.
uh Megas Nunn says first season of Star Trek, The Next Generation, and he's a huge
Oh
Trekkie,
God, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it
yeah.
was terrible, right? From what
hmm
I understand.
Well, I
So
don't know that it was exactly terrible. It didn't get its feet right away. I mean, there was a lot of struggles. I'm sure Mike could tell you. Like he probably knows it inside and out. But I know there was a lot of struggles with the cast and whatnot. Picard, um, he was a Shakespearean actor and didn't get along with the
yeah,
rest of the cast. But then I think it was by the end of season one, all that stuff came together, and after that, it took off and flew. It ended up being a really great series. But yeah, it struggled through the first season for sure.
yeah. The other thing too is like potential. Mike says it was not very good.
Yeah.
So I believe Mike. He knows a lot more about Star Trek
Yes, he
than I ever
does.
will. Um, but um, I want to know. I want a website with these numbers. So, I
Yeah.
mean, Imperial RFB, if you can give us the website, because I just don't believe, because this is one of the things that I do know this during the writer's strike and the actor's strike. One of the things that was argued was they wanted more
Clarity.
um, clarity on what was happening, because they were really
hmm
kind of putting the screws to writers and actors,
hmm
because they didn't have to release numbers for streams, right? So Jennifer Aniston gets however much money every time someone watches an episode of Friends,
hmm
because and they can say, well, they don't have to report those numbers, so they're kind of hosing. And then the writers, of course, were not getting like TV show money. They were getting, well, you're writing a series, you're going to get
hmm
this lump sum that's not as much. But some of these numbers and things like that, they've got to release this stuff. And if they're afraid to release it, then it says, okay, maybe that's true. But
Yeah.
everything that we heard was that Andor still has the lowest numbers. Yeah,
hmm
Imperial, I don't trust Bespin. I'm sorry. I know he
Yeah.
hits a lot of stuff on the head, but sometimes he just says things too. He has been wrong. He has been right, but I want that information. I don't want to trust anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think you could trust numbers from anyone unless it's coming from the actual sources. And even there, I don't know if you could trust it. Because like you said, they've been so cagey about their numbers for the entire time that streaming has been around. Like they want to keep that stuff close to the vest so they can make these what seem like arbitrary decisions to us because we don't have the information. Like you've said multiple times with the Acolyte, the amount of the amount of stuff that was out there, the discourse online about it, good and bad, mostly bad. People were talking about it. Like that's kind of what you're going for, isn't it? Engagement with the fans, and it had to have translated to something. Maybe not enough subscriptions to Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm trying to find because Mike said it could be the Nielsen numbers, and I have seen this, but again, I don't know enough.
Have they adapted Nielsen to streaming, like to really get a good gauge, like they did with television?
Yeah,
I know they've.
I
I
mean,
know
you would
that.
think it would be more accurate because if
Mhm.
you stream something, you have to play it. You know, it
Yeah,
should be. I feel like it should be better than when they used to do it with TV and they had their sweeps weeks and people were
yeah,
tuning in. Like you
yeah.
would
Because
think
you're
that
not
this
just
would
writing
be.
it down in a notebook. It's there's
Yeah, I
a
mean,
digital
bam!
record
Every
of what
time
you're.
you get a click, you
Mhm.
get a click, you see it, you get to see watch time. Like we have
Yeah.
those numbers on our YouTube channel, right? We can see
Mhm.
like after a certain amount of time, we can see like this is how long people are watching. People aren't watching very good.
Mhm.
I don't know Imperial where he gets his information from because sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. I mean, I think people are good at pulling things together. I do assume that he has people inside of Disney, but I don't know. So, oh, that's not a good way to post a link. I don't know what Mike's talking about. What are you talking about, Magus? Magus, sorry.
Magus.
So, Magus. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been a little frustrated today. I don't know if it's this or school or what, but I was pretty annoyed, and I'm kind of surprised too. I get okay. I should say this out loud too. Like all for people not liking the show. Like
Mhm.
I teach U.S. history. We talk about you can think this, you can think that way. Um, this is some of the stuff that people say. Wow. I hope.
Yeah,
What
I
is?
would. Like I said before, Era, I would be curious if if we have anybody on that disliked the show. Are you happy that it's canceled? Is
Well,
it
lots of people
satisfying?
are. They told me lots of
Yeah,
mean things.
yeah.
Just from our Facebook group. Let me pull this over here so I can see it a little bit better. Um, I don't know what Magus is talking about. Mike, let us know what you're talking about, bud. I'm curious. Let me see if I can find that because we had people in our group. We've invited people into our, and that's the thing too is people are like positive about the show and things like that. But we've also invited people who were positively negative about the show, didn't
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah, like Dad Vader. I mean, he had solid reasoning behind. It wasn't just I don't like it. Had good reasons for his criticisms and whatnot, valid criticisms. You like to hear from someone like that it's not just a knee jerk reaction. It's thought out, and not everybody likes everything. You don't have to.
No, and I said, and I even said last night, I was like, this isn't my favorite Star Wars.
Mhm.
I think it's better than some of the things that we've gotten so far. It's definitely
Yeah.
better than season 3 of the Mando. It's
Mhm.
definitely better, probably in my opinion, better than Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would agree there.
looks like
Yeah,
Clan Brandalorian's on here. Says I feel your bro is quite surprised myself, but we will get Plagueis and Chimera eventually. I keeping high hopes. Yeah, I mean, someone's mentioned something like Star Wars likes to do trilogies. What
mhm.
if? Oh, thanks, Brandon. 300 subs. Yes, it's good. We're slow, man, slow, but we're getting there. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the YouTube. I keep forgetting to post all of our shorts on YouTube, and I think that's kind of killing our numbers over here. But
People
um,
love the shorts, man.
yeah, they do. Attention spans are about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, um, someone said something today, and I can't remember. I think I was listening to a Mike from. There's so many mics in my life, but a guy who loves Star Wars, and he was like, someone
That narrows
on
it
his
down.
chat was, "What if they don't plan on calling the next one the Acolyte? Because now we know who the Acolyte
Mhm.
is, right? So what if the
Right.
next one is the Apprentice? Like we like to do things in threes. What
Ooh.
if I don't know if that's the case or not, but until Disney comes out and says there is no season 3 or sorry, season
Right.
2,
It's all
uh,
random speculation from our side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike said I had problems with certain elements of the show, but overall I liked it. Getting something new and different. Yeah, I mean that's what everybody
Mhm.
wanted. Get away from Skywalker. And it
Mhm.
wasn't perfect.
No.
But
But like there are not just in the Star Wars world, there are so many bad shows out there that have gotten multiple seasons, gotten renewals. I don't know what was so wrong with this one that they wouldn't. I don't know. Like I said, the
no,
engagement numbers had to be up there, in this day and age, that's what you're looking for, right? People talking.
I guess
That's what we're
Wayne
doing right
Cooper
now.
Smith
We're talking.
yeah, he says on our Facebook, disappointed it had dodgy moments. I mean, I think we're all in agreement.
Mhm.
Had dodgy moments, but wasn't. But what doesn't? Wish all the haters would just shut up and not watch anything more and not spoil things. I get they want shows that they like, but I don't know what those would be. They don't seem to like anything. Like
Yeah.
they like nothing.
Nope.
So I'm like, what do you
They
want?
like to hate things.
That that's what's really gotten me fired up. And I'm not mad about people calling me names. Like I could care less. Like I don't even read half the time, and I laugh at some stuff. And I'll most of the time, if
Mhm.
you said something mean to me, I'm the one who liked it because I think it's hilarious. Or 'cause I honestly don't care, but it's just mm, some of the things that are happening. What does he say? So much more story to tell there. Yeah, the potential for it. Darren Briscoe, I'm gutted that he's so much more good stuff. Seeing it continued in other media would probably happen, but I'd love to see it in live action. I don't want to see this in books and in comics.
No. I mean,
It's
I'll
not the
read them.
same.
Yeah, I'll read them. I'm happy to get the content, but yeah, this is a series. We want to see this series continue, not shift over to another form.
Yeah.
And especially
You know,
with the books, with the books, they're so often to just say, "Well, that's not canon anymore," and just
yeah, they
axe
can
it
do
right out.
whatever. Yeah, they can do whatever they want with that, and
Hmm.
so it's. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Um, I know, like Kyle on our Facebook did not like this show, right? But like he responded to Darren saying like they did tease a lot of good stuff, so I'm thinking eventually it might will be turned into something else and better too. And he, he's within his rights not to like stuff. You got to watch our language on our Facebook group. We always do anyway. Danny says, "Love Star Wars. Sad to see it go, but I understand why." Craig says, "Well, that's a shame. Even though it wasn't perfect, I enjoyed it for the most part. Here's hoping for mystic cost reasons rather than giving it to the toxic BS from some corners." Yeah, I don't think that those toxic fanboys or whatever, those fan people who didn't like it, can choose. Like if you don't like the show, don't like it. Some of the stuff that you're saying, I feel like people who don't like the show, that's fine. But when you start saying, well, it's dumb because it's woke, or you're dumb because, there was a black person in the main
Yeah,
character, or there was an Asian person in the main character, like, then you're no longer,
yeah,
I don't
and
consider
that's the
you a
sort of thing.
fan.
I hope those voices are not being listened to because
And
that
I
is
can imagine.
absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Um,
I don't understand what do these people want to see? Like, just I guess the real world's not good enough for them, so they want this doctored up special world that they can go to and they sit on their couch and watch their television. Because
yeah.
even in this small town, like I go back and watch, like, if you watch like Friends, how jarring is it to watch Friends? Like, that takes place in New York City, and you never see a person of color. You never see anyone different. It's all just white people. It is so jarring to watch. And the things that they're producing now just seem more real, more regular. You have more of the people that are in your daily life represented on TV.
Even in
It's
good old white Clearfield.
exactly, exactly.
So, yeah. Let's see here. We got May just says it's almost like some people make their entire personality hating things. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some really big YouTubers that just spew hate. Like I've stopped listening to few, and then there's been some that have been positive, and they just turn and like you see their numbers go up, and they just start turning towards being hateful. I'll stay at
yeah,
300 subs and
right.
not. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like it.
Hmm.
It wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. It's not my favorite show, but I still felt like it had a lot of story to tell. Imperial says those haters, folks, are the Phantom Menace. At the moment, they think they've won. That's the problem. They
Yeah.
think they won like after Solo. Like, don't go. Do they really think they have that much influence? And I mean, I
No.
know there's some people that follow them blindly because some
Hmm.
people do. They can't think for themselves, which is fine. And if you line up with the way they think, okay. But I mean, I see people like some people argue with me, like, well, haven't you seen what I don't know if I should say their name, but I'm going to say it anyways. Haven't you seen what Theory says? I'm like, I don't give a beep what Theory thinks.
Yeah.
He used to actually be a positive Star Wars fan, and he hates everything now. But
Hmm.
he also has almost more subscribers than StarWars.com itself.
Wow.
So I mean, he's got you know, that what does Elvis Imperial says? He says now they're going after Skeleton Crew. Now that was the weird thing is he was I sometimes I can't help myself but to go on and see what he's saying, and then he starts crying
Yeah.
about something, and I just get rid of it. But he actually was positive about the Skeleton Crew for a minute. I was
Mhm.
very confused,
Hmm.
but I'm sure he's made more. I unfollowed him, unfollowed him. Thor Skywalker, I can't take anymore. He likes. I don't think he's liked anything since Disney's taken over.
Wow.
Maybe and the numbers keep growing. Who remembers a $35,000 billboard in 2014 out in Cali? I don't know. I don't remember. Um, I don't know what you're talking about, Imperial. To be honest with you, in 2014, my memory is not that good. Rage bait is what gets clicks, it gets engagements. Yeah, I know, and that's one thing I we laughed about today with talking with Jack is that um, even people who are like watching it and like people are helping us by yelling at us. They're
Yeah.
engaging with our stuff. So I'm like, you're just putting us into the algorithm,
Hmm.
and you're putting that into the algorithm. And so Dad Vader's here. Mike, you had some questions for him, I think. Acolyte wasn't
Yeah.
the easiest pill to swallow, but I think there was enough for a season two. Yeah, and I know you didn't like it as much as we did, probably, but I mean, even Dad Vader's able to be like, yeah, like there's probably something there. Let's
Yeah.
maybe,
And
I
that.
don't know, try it after. I just don't understand
Hmm.
this one and done. Like we're going to the Netflix
Yeah.
system, but Netflix is weird. They'll cancel really popular stuff and
I
then bring
know.
stuff
I don't.
back that doesn't make any sense.
It seems very arbitrary what they're doing over there. I have no idea.
So,
But yeah, I mean, if someone like Dad Vader who had some real concerns with the show, you had him on the podcast and he had
mhm.
valid criticisms, not
Yeah, absolutely.
and for someone like him that wants the show to come back, he realize like wants it to continue. I What the heck?
Yeah.
I think most of us realize,
Oh, that's
you
what's
can't,
terrible.
you're not going to nail it in the first season almost ever. How many shows out there have you just come out and just like, wow, that's amazing.
I
It takes
mean,
time to ramp up.
the Mando had so much going for it, but you can't do that every time. You can't bring
No.
in a character like Grogu
Hmm.
every single season.
Yeah.
Like you're not. It's like these people. All right, everyone's like, "Well, it's not the original trilogy." Well, you're never going to get that back. So
Nope.
I look at Marvel. They've got their Doomsday coming, and then they got their Secret
Mm.
Wars. It might be better than Infinity War and Endgame, but you're not going to have the
But
same emotions because you can
no.
only do that once.
Hmm. It may
So
like it may strike a different generation. If they're lucky, they get a new generation hooked, and it continues. But yeah, I mean, it's like the original trilogy for us. Like for people to go back and watch the original trilogy now, for a lot of people, especially if you're not a Star Wars fan at all, it's just you go and watch it. You're like, what is this?
yeah.
Not good. But for those of us that grew up with it, and that time and that place, and like it's has a spot in your heart, and you love it, and you can never ever recreate that ever.
No. And it can get better though. This is
Right.
Carol says early the Phantom Menace paid $3,500 to message to Lucasfilm to bring back Legends. Oh, that's when
Mhm.
they decided. They said everything was going to be. Um, it's like we forgot what Ben told Luke: "Don't give in to hate; that leads to the dark side." Millennium is here. Hello, Millennium. Thanks for joining us. Dad Vader, what's he saying here? He says the mega hater influencers just totally piss me off, especially when they call themselves real Star Wars fans. Yeah, that's one area that I think is, like I said earlier, I think everyone is Star Wars fans until you start spewing hate towards individuals or, when you're like, this is woke or, I had people light me up. Well, that first time was me and you and the Mandalorian when we
Oh
were
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah,
our
yeah.
first show, and I mean that
Wow.
guy was just got on our cast to call us every name in the book, and never gave me a reason why he didn't like the show, which I thought, well,
Yeah.
okay. Eric says there are so many great shows where the first season wasn't great, but the following season,
Hmm.
Clone Wars,
Yeah.
that first season is it's a bit rough. So I'm a Vader nut, and I had issues with all right series, but overall I'm down for more. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then Cyrus, oh hey Cyrus Speed, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Really, the original trilogy hits you in the feels. Yes, it does.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
like you can't, you're never going to duplicate that with a show. I think the Mando was special because it was the first TV show. It's just like the
Hmm.
Marvel TV shows, really, too. Like, you got, like, they're never going to be able to do WandaVision again. Like,
Right.
WandaVision
That
was
was
a
so
one and done
unique
as
and
far as
original. Hmm.
you can't do that again. You can't have that
Nope.
fun and do the way they did it and make it so interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
And it
but
was it was it was well encapsulated too as just a one season thing. Like
yeah,
they didn't need to go. They didn't need to do another season of that. It
because
was,
it played into
the
the
vision
movies
was
and
seen
stuff.
through it, and it was just great.
Yeah, I wonder. And something else I was thinking about too is like, so we've got Skeleton Crew coming, and then Andor, um, and then Ahsoka season 2, and then what do we got? Now I'm okay with not knowing because I'm tired of Kathleen Kennedy coming out and saying we have 47 shows coming out,
Yeah.
and then none of them ever get made. But
Mhm.
you know, could 2026 be the end of? Because then that's when all the movies start coming out. Are they going to show movie? I mean, phase 6 of Marvel looks insane. 3 movies a
Yeah.
year again. I
Mhm.
mean, they're going to be pumping that stuff out. It should be fun. I mean, I'm going to go see most of them, although I have slowed down because, again, it's just not the same as it was when you first watched Iron Man and the Avengers. And,
Yeah.
think about the difference between the Avengers movie and like where it ended with Endgame and stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, you're right.
but
It doesn't really seem like they got anything lined up to continue the series going. Like if you think back 3 years ago, you knew Ahsoka's coming. You knew you might have had some hints of the Acolyte, um, Skeleton. Like you had all these shows you knew were coming, and here we are. Look, if you look 3 years down the line, what's coming?
yeah,
There's
after
nothing on the slate
after that, and here's next
unless
clip.
unless there's another Acolyte.
Yeah. Didn't they say they were going to put the brakes on some things?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that. Um, Hang on, I wanted to show this one first. Come on, where'd it go? Well, it says it's. All right, I'm going to hide it. Hang on. This is acting a fool. Give me a second. Yeah, some ire around the Clone Wars, especially within. Yeah, it takes a while.
Hmm.
People hated Ahsoka. I hated Ahsoka. Now I have her
Hmm.
tattooed on my body, right? Like her symbol, her markings are tattooed on my body. And I remember watching the Clone Wars movie and being like, "What the is this?" And
Yeah.
I still don't like that movie that much because it's real. She's real irritating in it, and I'm like, this is kind of
Hmm.
messing things up. But as they told the story,
Hmm. The
she's
character
one of
gets
the
fleshed
most
out.
beloved
Yep.
characters
Hmm.
in Star Wars, and she started out
Yep.
nothing but hate. And I wasn't part of social media and all that stuff when that came out. I don't know how big it
Yeah.
was back then. Like I don't even remember that
Imagine.
movie coming
Imagine.
out in the theaters. That's how out of touch I was.
Yeah.
So
Imagine people treating their kids this way. Like when your kids are going through their terrible twos and they're the horrible stages early in life, and just like, oh, I can't stand this kid, and just like write them off.
just write them off, right? I mean, as a
That's kind of
teacher,
what you're doing.
yeah, like as a teacher, I'm always
These
like, ah,
shows,
kids.
all these things, they have to go through stages. They have to grow.
Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes you don't like kids, and sometimes they grow on. I mean, sometimes they are just big giant turds, and they're never going to get any better.
Yeah.
But sometimes they surprise you. Dad Vader says the roots of Star Wars is the OG trilogy. Like we need to keep that in mind. Everything we have is base rooted from that, and it's going to evolve new stories, new characters. Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, and yes, and more yes. Like but if you go back and you watch the original trilogy, it's flawed.
Oh yeah.
It's not fast. Cinema's changed it changed cinema,
Yeah.
and sometimes
It's
I don't
of
feel
that
like it's
era.
kept up. It changed. It had changed movie making,
Mhm.
and I know they're always on cutting edge of like technology, but sometimes I'm afraid, like if you watch Dune and you compare Dune 1 and Part 2 to the last three Star Wars movies. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I feel like those Dune movies are way better.
Yeah.
Like better storytelling, more impactful, just the scenery and the cinematography. Like, go get him to write a damn Star Wars movie, and then let him do. Let's see Star Wars like that. I'd be. I mean, I just remember watching Dune and thinking, man, Star Wars needs to step up.
Yeah.
Like seeing Dune on the big screen, I was blown away by it. I remember being thoroughly confused at your house as kids trying to watch that first. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, all right. So, but yeah, Star Wars, I think, does need to step up, and it needs to understand, like, we do, and everything is based off of that. But, um, you know, you've got to evolve with things. Also, that movie doesn't fit into the series until later on into the show. Yeah, the whole thing with Clone Wars jumping. I mean, if you
Yeah.
ever tried to watch it. Now we've been talking about this for a while, myself and Jacob and Danny, about trying to do recaps of the arcs and like put them in order and
Hmm.
stuff like that for this show. But I mean, we found the order of them and it jumps all over the place. Things from season 3 are
Yeah.
actually before anything else.
Hmm.
What did Dad Vader just say? Side note, do y'all hear RSC year 2 dates now? Oh, no, I didn't. They wanted to come on the show and talk about it. So Rebel Scum Con, I'll have to look that up when we're done. Reach out to them. Mike, if you want to come to
Nice.
Texas, this would be the event to do it for.
Yeah.
So much fun, so many cool people to meet. Cyrus Speed says prequels didn't get a lot of love when they came out, but look at how much the prequels get. Cyrus Speed,
Yeah.
I hated. I can probably say I hated the prequels. Didn't feel like they were Star Wars. I enjoyed parts of them, but I left there thinking like this doesn't feel like Star Wars to me because it was too clean and everything.
Yeah.
But like I left Phantom Menace 25th anniversary almost in tears, just being like, this is awesome. The sound effects and all the story, and it's still the same, still holes in it and stuff like that. But I don't
And
know.
if you talk to people of that generation, there are people that love it. I mean, this prequels hooked another generation of people on Star Wars. I don't get it. I mean, I didn't enjoy them. Like you said, maybe if I went back and rewatched them with maybe I'd find something more that I enjoyed about them. But yeah, at the time, I was like, ugh. It's like the original trilogy. You all right, man? Okay. The original trilogy, I've watched those movies tons. I can't even count how many times. But then you go to the prequels, maybe 3 times each, and then the most recent ones, the when the first one, of the new three. I'm terrible with titles, but what was the first one of the new three?
The Phantom Menace. Wait, of
No,
the
the
new
new
three,
three. Yeah,
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. I went and saw that one multiple times because it just, it just is a repeat of some of the original stuff. Went and saw that multiple times, but then two and three, I probably saw them maybe twice, maybe just once. I don't know.
Force Awakens, I've saw 4 or 5 times. The Last Jedi, I saw 4 times, and the only time I really liked is when I was with the swim team. We went, I saw it opening night, and then Danny and I went and saw it right after that night, and I
Yeah,
fell asleep in the theater the second viewing.
that's how good it
The
is.
Rise of Skywalker I saw 9 times, and
Yeah,
it wasn't like planned. Like it just was like every time I went somewhere, people wanted to go see the new Star Wars movie, so I'm like, yeah, of
yeah.
course. And it got better. It slowed down a little bit for me. Let's see what we got. Some people here. We got they're telling different kinds of stories, though. I mean, I'd be down to see Dennis Villanueva do Star Wars, though. Yeah, they are telling different stories.
Hmm.
A lot more religious tones and things like that. But um, yeah, I would definitely be down to see him do something. The prequels get love from the kids that grew up on them, just like we
Hmm.
grew up on the OT. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the prequels now. Like I appreciate what they are. I think Clone Wars
Yeah.
helped the prequels
Yeah. Yeah.
for me, but not for everybody. Just like there's going to be a generation that they first fixed from the sequel trilogy, or even The Mandalorian. Yeah, and I always
Hmm.
say that like it's important to keep this stuff coming out because
Yeah.
um,
It just keeps the
with
fan
material.
base growing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The prequel trilogy generation is too young to have heard the voice. Yeah, I mean they're the voices we hear now, but
Mm.
you think the people that liked the prequels would like the Acolyte? I mean, this
Yeah.
seems similar
Yeah,
to
because
me.
it's telling the story before them. Mhm.
Yeah. Eric says I was born in '96, and the prequels is what got me hooked on Star Wars. I spent my childhood playing Star Wars outside with sticks. Yeah, and I mean I
Yeah,
know like
buddy.
Eric and I have been playing um, Star Wars Unlimited, and I know that he and I are both super hyped for the Clone Wars versions that's coming
Yeah.
out. So like and that's all his stuff. So
Just like him, our first lightsabers are wooden sticks.
yeah, trying to imitate Obi-Wan, he says.
Hmm.
Um, it's a big toy box and there's room for everyone to find something they love, but that also means not everything is for everyone. Yeah, and the thing
Yeah, I
is too is
agree.
I think that's the problem is like you don't have to like stuff, but if you come on our show and you start calling out like our sexuality, like, all three of us were married men, two of them have kids or kid on the way, like don't tell me that I and there's nothing, like I'm like that you're not offending
What
me.
does
Like
that have to do with
yeah, like what are
anything?
you talking about? Like that's the stuff that drives me nuts is like
Yeah.
you're gonna question my sexuality, which I'm like, I don't care what you think of me. And that's the stuff that really fires me up more
Yeah.
so than anything else. So,
We are woke
um,
pansy boys.
yeah, we got called shills that night. It was awesome. I'm an OT kid, but I love the prequels. But the sequels, yeah, The Force Awakens, I enjoyed it because it was so similar to the OT, but the rest are not
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, they are not.
Yeah, see, I think like people always think like I hate Ryan Johnson. I think Ryan Johnson could do a Star Wars trilogy, but if he stayed away from the main characters, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Right? That's me personally because I used to arguments with people and they're like, "Well, you hate Ryan Johnson." I'm like, "No, I don't think The Last Jedi fit. I don't feel like it continued the story that well. Didn't feel like a Star Wars movie to me. But if you gave me three movies in his tone, I bet you it would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
There
think
were some amazing shots and epic. I mean, there's some
beautiful
good
scenes.
parts. Yeah, but overall, it just didn't work.
Yeah. Davir said, I do think the side stories off the main storyline is very interesting, but hard to capture lighting like Mando, but still worth a shot. Just need better execution.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think Dad Vader, I think that's kind of where they fell short a little bit because there were some things in the Acolyte that don't make sense to me. And I was like, okay, maybe they'll get this right, but that's just being patient. And it's not. I mean, if you give me a second season, it's the same kind of and the same messes there. I might start getting a
Well, I
little
don't know. A
frustrated,
second
but
see, you've got these characters. They have the opportunity. They got their foothold, and then they have the opportunity to grow from there. Like we've said earlier in the show, it takes time. So many characters, you as an actor, you got to get your foothold. You got to learn that character and feel what that character is, and then going into a season two, you know where you're going from there. You embody that character more, and it just seems to come through better. I don't know. There's there's a lot they could do with this season two. I I
it's
can't imagine it'd be worse than season one.
yeah, no, and I think and then people are like, oh, they killed all the characters. Did they? Stories evolve. Like we watched The Rookie. We just started
Mhm,
watching The Rookie. Molly and I, cop show. Nathan Fillion.
mhm.
Um, should have been Nathan Drake, but whatever. Um, not Tom Holland.
Is
But
that
anyways,
that
um,
guy? That guy's
they
fit into so much dream casting that never never came
yeah,
up.
and he's good in his stuff. Like, but the
Oh
thing is, in
yeah,
that show, like you continue to add people and you continue to wipe people off. Think about like The Walking Dead.
oh yeah.
You sit there and you like love a character, and then the next scene, like I mean, they killed Carl for God's sakes right after
Hmm.
he bought a home in Georgia. Um, but so people were arguing. I know someone was arguing with me about, well, they killed all the good characters. I'm like, well, you have May, you have Osha, you have Vernestra Rowe, you had
Hmm.
Chimere, you had Plagueis, you had that
Hmm.
senator. I mean, there's six
Hmm.
people right there that you could
Yeah.
bring in. Now you've got Yoda, you've got other Jedi Masters. Like you could bring Oppo
Mhm.
Rancisis, you could bring Yariel Proof, you could bring Yaddle. Like you could do whatever you wanted with this. Um, and you introduce new characters. Lots of shows
Yeah.
start that way. I do
Hmm.
struggle with Doctor Who when the Doctor changes.
Yeah.
Like that always throws me off a little bit. I kind of stopped watching after I can't remember which one. I was just like, "It's not." I know they're supposed to be the same, but they're not the same, and then they're supposed to be different, but they're the same. It's very confusing for my small
Yeah.
brain. But um, I don't know.
Oh,
I
you remember
still
Doctor
just don't.
Who when we used to watch it on PBS?
What's that?
When that's the only. Do you remember Doctor Who when we used to watch it on
Oh,
PBS when that was the only
or
channels
Tom
we had?
Baker Doctor Who, right?
That was so terrible. Oh
The
yeah.
Tom Baker stuff. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. That's crazy. Uh, That stuff was not. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting back into Doctor Who, but it gets a little weird for me sometimes. But I don't know. I just thought the Acolyte. I mean, some of the criticisms, I just think that it was doomed. I mean, episodes were in the negative before they even aired because people were bombing them.
Mm.
I know there was a movement on. I saw something on. I don't know if it was. I was scrolling through all the hate on my social media, and now there's some love there too. I got some people who like it, and it's like 50-50 for me. But uh, where was I going with this? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
So, but well, whatever. I just, I'm frustrated. I'm
Yeah,
disappointed,
it's a downer. Mhm.
and there's a lot of potential
Well,
there. I
there's
don't think they stuck the landing. There's some things that need to be changed. But I mean, who does their job perfectly the very first time?
right.
I mean, I
There
know
was
she has other
certainly
shows and things like that. I don't know. I'm not sure how things fell through the cracks. Some of the stuff, some of the storylines didn't make a ton of. It's like what's the little rat guy's name? What was his name? Um,
oh
Basil,
Basil. Hmm.
right? Like what was Basil doing? That bothered me. I'm like, where's that little, you know, Darth
Hmm.
Basil theories and stuff coming out? But some of that stuff didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The fact that I mean, I don't like the fact that they killed Jecki and Yord, but that made me hate Chimera and make me fear them all the more. So I mean, that was good
Absolutely.
storytelling.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, some of the negative that's some of the negatives and things like that is like episodes 4 and 5 should have been one episode.
Hmm.
They should have just done some things differently, but you can't do things differently if you don't get a second chance.
Right.
I just
Yep.
I don't
They
understand.
built enough. They built enough to provide a compelling storyline for season two, and I can't see how it wouldn't be better. How it wouldn't go farther. How it wouldn't be a success. I think we've even the people that had problems with the first season have said, like Dad Vader said, he'd like to see a season two.
Yeah, for sure. Mike's Mike's a show. He said he thought he forced us to watch Doctor Who. I don't think he forced us. We were on all that weird stuff.
Yeah. I remember, like, at your house, especially, you only had like PBS
Six,
was one of
ten,
the
and
only
three.
stations that came through. Oh, I love Monty Python. I remember seeing that on PBS and like being, wow, they could put this stuff on TV.
Yeah, Threads is full of love for Acolyte. I always forget
Yeah.
about Threads.
Yeah, I don't have any social media except for Instagram, and I barely check that.
Cyrus Pete says Jackie was a great character. Oh
Yeah,
man,
she was.
what a waste to kill
Man,
her. I mean, I get it,
yeah.
get it. I don't understand what the book's going to be about though. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me
Well,
that they're making a book about her because this was her first mission. They said as they're
yeah.
walking down the steps, "Hey, I'm sorry, this is your first mission."
They're
So
gonna have to. They're gonna change that. They have to. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be something.
maybe some secret side
Because
mission or something that they
something.
did. some
Yeah,
kind of
they're just
Harry
gonna
Potter
forget.
type
Yeah,
trouble in
they're gonna
the.
forget that line because she is such a great character, and that's I mean the opportunity to explore her in a book that's awesome
No, I'm
because
pumped for it. I want more Jecki,
yeah,
and obviously we don't get anything moving forward of Daphne Keene in live action. It does mean they could bring
mm,
Daphne Keene back as a human because she
yeah,
looks way
nobody would
different,
know.
and
Uh
she
huh.
is badass with that
Yeah.
lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Um, so, and all of her fight scenes I thought were pretty awesome. That big one, when she gets 3-hole punched. Um,
Mm,
Still, I mean, I watched that and I'm like, oh, every time. So there's so many good things. Carrie Ann Moss. I know someone was complaining about Carrie Ann Moss getting wiped out quick, and then yeah, Luke
yeah.
Summerfield says sources, and I've seen that he's quoted that everywhere. Where are these sources? Where are these sources? And I know people trust Bestman, and Bestman is right a lot of the times. People are wrong sometimes. You could be getting information from someone who's disgruntled, but I don't know. Like, it really all comes down to the fact that still on. I'm gonna go swing over to, let me see, Star Wars. Is that nope? No, nothing canceled yet
Nothing
on Star
official on Star
Wars.
Wars,
.com. So let me
and
see. Nope, still not refreshing everything. Still, still
I
nothing.
don't think they'll. I think you said this earlier. I don't think they'll ever come out and officially cancel it. If
They
they
just
decide if they
ignore it.
decide not to do any more, then just let it die. It just will
Yeah,
never come back around.
I mean, just like Ryan Johnson's trilogy, they've never come out and
Hmm.
said it's not happening.
Right.
They're just
It's just
moving away
gone.
from it,
Hmm.
which I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
I get it. I get why they're not doing it. Um, But it's also, I mean, it's fine. Like, hey, we made. I don't even think they made a mistake. The mistake wasn't in letting Ryan Johnson do The Last Jedi. The mistake was not creating a storyline for 3 movies and having an
Hmm.
idea going. You can't wing
Yeah.
that. You can't. I mean, and they
No.
made
No.
billions
No.
of
No.
dollars. They would have
Hmm.
made more money had they just waited a year,
Yeah.
wrote 3 good stories, made them connect, and then made the movies with different directors if they
Hmm.
wanted to. But give
Yeah.
them a
I would say one of the most successful things, one of the best things that Star Wars has done in recent times is the animation, and Filoni has a plan. Like it, this isn't. He's not just whipping it out and oh, we'll see where this goes. It's like he knows the trajectory, where it's headed, where it's going, and some the animation stuff has just been fantastic. I mean, you don't hear too much negative about any of the animation stuff that's come out. I don't remember, just the latest thing with the Bad Batch. I don't remember people coming out and just trashing the Bad Batch. Like,
No, most people enjoyed it. I mean, I remember like, and for Rebels when the Purgle were introduced, like, oh, filler episode. But now we've got, I mean, they end up being key to the end of Rebels. They're key in
hmm,
Ahsoka. I mean, he doesn't,
hmm,
and I know he puts things out there in case he needs to use them again.
yeah,
But yeah, you have to let it develop. You have to give it time.
hmm,
Now, I will say that Leslie Headland and them should have done a little bit better job maybe pushing the story forward, maybe not bringing that senator in at the very end. Like, why not extend the episodes, have a little bit of political drama going on? We had a
hmm,
little bit with Rebecca Henderson as Vernestra, but why not have some political stuff happening? Lengthen these out, develop these characters a
hmm,
little bit more. And I know we're talking money, and I don't know how much it costs to make stuff. And I know people are like screaming that it costs as much as House of Dragons, but I can't imagine that. I mean, I know the CGI for the dragons had to be expensive, but
yeah,
they're building ships for Star Wars. So every place they've got to build. They can go find castles,
yeah.
um, and maybe they're not paying. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just get real frustrated. They
Seems
need
to
to
me
give it
like they have all
time.
the money in the world, though. They can do whatever they want. But I know you can't just spend and spend and spend. You have to,
No, I mean you
you
have
got
to
to
get a
bring money
return. I
back
get
in.
it,
But
but
mhm,
someone was saying that like Disney's just now starting to make money because they had to put out so much money there at the beginning, making
yeah,
stuff to get more content out there. Because and I'm being all honesty, like most people had copies of their favorite movies. Like I don't need Disney to watch any of the Star Wars movies because I have them all on my Amazon.
Yeah.
I bought them all on
I
Amazon,
still have them
or
on VHS.
yeah, like so I get it. They needed to make stuff and they needed to improve, but I'm bummed.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, it is a little bit like the recent the recent trend in business. Like nobody, none of these big corporations really look at the long haul. Nobody's building a business that's gonna, slowly build. It's all about what can we do to get the biggest return for the stockholder now, and there's no thought to the future, and that's why you're seeing a lot of the problems in our economy and whatnot. Like you're not developing something. You're not thinking about your employees and the long term outlook of the business, and it's all about return for the investors. And if the movie making industry is going that way too, yeah, I think you're going to see more of this sort of stuff where nothing gets a chance. If it doesn't have that immediate return, it's axed. It's just terrible, just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, look at we're both football fans, and maybe they should put the Roonies and Mike Tomlin in charge of Disney. They'll just kind of slowly be average for the rest of
Yeah, it just be average
um,
forever.
be average forever, and um,
Occasional
yeah,
flashes of greatness, but
yeah,
mostly
some of the stuff.
average.
Oh, here we go. Let me see. I love Jackie, but I knew most of these guys were going to. Yeah, I didn't think. I thought all the
Yeah,
red shirt Jedi were going to eat it. I didn't think the main characters were going to. A lot of people saw Filoni as their new heir apparent to Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy was a cruel overlord. However, I've seen people calling for the head of Filoni and Favreau. Yeah, because he greenlit
really.
this show, but I also don't think he was actually in charge whenever the show was pushed through. So he was just trying to give it its endorsement. I have these specialized editions. Oh, very nice.
Oh.
Line must go up. Line must go up. Not sure what I know what he means by that. Am I missing something?
I think he's
Line
just
must
saying
go
like
up.
the stock line
Oh
has got to
yeah,
go
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little bit of a delay for some reason. It's pretty accurate, but it's not super accurate yet. But um, yeah, I just people just need to be patient. Things I don't understand why we come to this. I mean, I know why we come to this. It's just like social media, like instant gratification. It has to be
yeah.
it has to be perfect. But not everything's going to be like the thing
No.
is like you sit and you develop characters and maybe like the first season or the first movie is like good but not great, but then you build on it,
Hmm.
and that's how you get people to go back to watch the first season, and they add
Yep.
on to it if you make a movie or whatever. I
Yeah, I would challenge anybody to go back and look at your whatever your favorite serialized television show is, something that has, multiple seasons out there. Go back to the first season of whatever show and try to watch it, suffer through it, and see that 9 times out of 10 you're going to find it. Wow, that was terrible. But by season 3, it's off and running, and it's the best. It's your favorite thing. You know.
and it's still probably just as poorly written or poorly executed, but you've been with
Hmm.
those characters. You've been in
Yep.
you feel like you're part of those characters. It's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's a reference I
Yeah.
haven't used a lot on this show, but I binged Buffy, and I mean, I felt like I was part of the crew, like sitting there and super cheesy, super. I mean, some of the dialogue, things like that. But me, just wanted the storylines and the characters, and wanted to see what happened.
Hmm.
And you had to give it time, and then it built into 7 seasons, I think, maybe 8. You got Angel out of it, all these different
Hmm.
shows, like just. And I know
Yep.
Buffy, and then Smallville, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
some of these shows that just weren't great, but by the end, they got these cult followings. I have every season of
Hmm.
Smallville on DVD. Like, I loved it, man. Loved it. So
Yep.
maybe I'm just a sucker. Maybe I am an idiot. Maybe all those people on
Maybe
social media are right. I'm a
they're
dang
probably right.
fool. I don't know
Yep.
anything. I'm a
That's
shill.
probably.
I
Yep.
suck. I should go
We should
bury my
just
head in
quit.
the sand.
Yep.
I, whatever. I don't know. But I mean, there's so many. Oh, what did we say? No way. What?
What?
Hang on. Something. See, this is what I don't understand why it's delayed. I can see it on my screen over here. There it is. I
There we go.
visited the high school they used for Buffy. I also glimpsed the house. Oh man, you're so lucky.
Ah,
Sunnydale. So good times. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed. And it all comes,
yeah,
so we can go around these big giant circles, but until Disney says it or we hear an actor say it, one of
yeah.
these actors will slip up. They'll get mad.
We could still hold out some hope.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I know like Man Stenberg and Manny and Rebecca Henderson, like they have too much still involved moving forward. But people
Yeah.
like Daphne Keene and Charlie Bartlett and some of those people, Carrie Ann Moss, like they can say whatever they want. Like they have nothing,
Hmm.
to lose. I didn't
Yep.
know that he lived in Los Angeles. Is that when you were in the Navy?
No, he was in Maryland in the Navy.
Oh, all right. I hated Los Angeles, just so you know. It was awful. All those people, yikes. I'm small town through and through, I think. But I don't know. Hold out hope. 'Cause I guess that's
Yeah.
kind of the theme for tonight's show is hold out hope. If you wanted to celebrate, if you hated it, be peaceful though, because I mean, some people this might be someone's favorite Star Wars,
Hmm.
and why ruin that for them? Like, what do you get
Yeah.
out of ruining
What's
it
in it
for
for
them?
you? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know, and then, like for me, like I do have a hard time. People get, well, I hated it. Okay, even some of our friends are like, "Oh, it was stupid. It was dumb," and I'm kind of surprised by how quickly they've turned from being rational and being able to talk about stuff to being like, well, no, it's dumb. I had someone come in who hadn't watched it. So now you should probably give it a chance. It might be better
Hmm.
because you can binge it. And I think this show, it works better binge than it does um,
Yeah.
week to week
Anticipating
anyways.
that. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that is because it's not as strong week to week. But I thought Andor was frustrating week to week,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
some episodes nothing happened and then it all happened. It was like a slow build. But
Hmm.
um, figure it out for yourself. If you hate it, hate it. Like, hey, I don't like this. Well, tell me why, and um, we can have those conversations. But
Hmm.
what's Mike say? If you find yourself hating it more than you love it, walk away and find something you love. You also don't forget to stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe
Why?
that's
Why force yourself to suffer through something you're not enjoying? Like, life is too short. Go and enjoy yourself. Don't 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 torture yourself if you don't like it, and don't rain on anybody else's parade. Don't yuck everybody else's yum. Just move on.
yeah, yeah. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I really hope Skeleton Crew knocks it out of the park. I hope it's just a fun
Yeah, I
movie,
have a.
a show that
Hmm.
people can get behind. I hope that they leave those kids alone if it's not good.
Yeah,
And that's something I shouldn't have to worry about is them attacking these little kids. I mean, I know
yeah.
they're going to be teenagers by the time this show airs, but um, I don't
Right.
know. So
Well, we're only a couple weeks away from the Lego miniseries, which should be a lot of fun.
yeah, there's
Hopefully
some
that'll wash any bad taste out of people's mouths.
yeah,
Have something. It's just a good laugh.
yeah. Well, yeah, because we got Outlaws coming out. I'll get it on
Oh
Tuesday.
yeah.
It comes out on Friday for if you didn't want to pay extra or whatever. I thought I was getting downloadable content right off the bat, but I'm not sure if that's what I paid for or not. That's what I got told I was paying for. Then we have Legos on the 13th of September,
Hmm.
and it looks like that's all dropping on the very same day. Then December 3rd, we're getting the first two episodes of the Skeleton Crew. So I mean, we've got some
Yep.
stuff to
A lot to
to
look
hold us
forward to.
over.
Hmm.
So, but
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
looking
we'll
forward to
see.
Outlaws. I don't know when I'm going to get the game, but I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew as well. It really, I'm really excited for a December of just a fun, whimsical, joyful show.
corrected his spelling. It's fine.
It's all right. None of us caught it in the first time.
So I did. I just didn't want to say anything mean.
Well,
Try not to
no.
be like everybody on my social medias.
Well, hopefully next week we could talk about something a little more upbeat. And we
Yeah,
had
and
a
we can probably
plan.
talk about what we planned on talking about tonight until
Yeah,
this news came
we had
out
a
last night.
plan. It was going to be a lot of fun. Maybe some ideas that Star Wars people could take back and fill out their slate of shows in the future. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
Yeah, join us next week. Follow us on all the social media. Be
yeah.
nice.
Hopefully,
You
no
know, I
bad news comes out between then and now that derails our
yeah.
conversation.
Maybe we can talk about something fun. I
Something
will
fun.
have probably played Outlaws for a little bit, maybe. I'm
Oh,
not
that'd be
sure how
cool.
much time I'll have. I'll try to get it. I'll probably grab it at lunchtime, run home, upload it, have to go to
Mhm.
practice, come
Mhm.
back from practice, play that a couple hours, and then we'll hop online here.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'll
that'd
be
be
a little
cool.
disheveled, but maybe we'll have some positives from that, and then we can talk about what we wanted to talk about, last week or this week,
Hmm.
unless of course something crazy comes out.
Right.
Hopefully something fun, positive
If it's
comes out.
crazy, hopefully it's in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe by next week there'll be some solid news from Lucasfilm. I do see them
I doubt it.
retaliating with some kind of positive news.
Yeah.
They don't like nobody likes. I mean, negative press is press, but I know Kathleen doesn't like. You know, she always kind of retaliates with good news. So hopefully we get something. Maybe we get a slew of like Daphne Keene's going to be at Celebration, or Carrie Ann Moss or Luke Scott. I think they'll hold on to
Mhm.
Mark Hamill last if he's actually going to come, but. Um, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but yeah, follow us on social medias, like us. Hopefully, we see you guys here. This will be the time that we do Skeleton Crew in December. It's gonna be a little
Mhm.
wonky though, because what is it? Christmas Eve
Yeah,
and New
yeah,
Year's
I
Eve.
think it's New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve that episodes should be coming out unless they drop them. They're dropping two to start with, and you'd figure they're just going to drop it one a week, but who knows what they're going to do with the holidays there. So I don't know what we're going to be able to do. I mean, I'm willing to get on here on a holiday, but I don't know that
We
I'll
both
be
want to stay
available.
married, so maybe we won't
Exactly.
review it on the. So
I mean, I'm sort of a homebody. We don't like to go a whole lot of places, but I don't know. If there's
yeah,
things going on, I can't commit this
you may
far
have to.
ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
postpone it a day or so.
Yeah,
It'll
for
be a different
sure.
show. Instead of instant reaction, it'll be digested over the holidays. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
it'll be good. All right.
Whatever it
Well, I
is,
want to
we'll
thank
make it
everybody
work.
for hanging out with
Yeah,
us.
thank
We're
y'all.
slowly getting people. I think we had 8 or 9 tonight, and we get a
That's
lot of
good.
views from these. Like people listen
Yeah.
to it and watch it later. Hopefully, we can start pulling some of those people in
Hmm.
and having some more conversations because that's what I
Hopefully the
like to hear. And
audio in this one's better.
yeah, so. But all right, everyone. Mike, you got a quote or anything you want to sign off with? I know we're still
Oh,
kind of filling this out. Your dogs have
yeah,
something they want to say.
they do. I think Lanko's saying happy birthday to Pluto. But yeah, no, just may the force be with you. Have a
All
good
right.
night. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes. And yeah, for all of us, for all of you, we have spoken. We'll see you guys next week, I hope.